Hello and welcome. This podcast is created to explore the many different ways people move through our world. Today, we're having a chat to Sian Box, and I am very excited for you to meet her. We all experience the world differently at different points in our lives, and by listening to one another, I hope we can build more awareness, empathy, and understanding. The goal is not to define anyone by a label, but to learn from real experiences so that we can design a world that works better for more people. Before we jump in, it's just a reminder that Sian is sharing her real life experiences with us today. So there is no right or wrong language here, no questions that could possibly have a wrong answer. We really appreciate you helping us understand what a more inclusive world could look like. Hello and a big welcome, Sian. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited.
Oh, so good to have you here. Start us off. Tell us a little bit about you, who you are, and a little bit about your life and the world around you.
Yeah, so I'm Sian. I'm 32. I'm 33 on Sunday, but I look 12. It's great. That's my going. I passed for 26 the other day. I was like, yes. Yeah, and I have cerebral palsy, spastic quadriplegia with left side hemiparesis. I also have spasms that are included with that. And then I have chronic pain, chronic fatigue. I did have greater tectonic left side syndrome, but now it's not that anymore. And I have a new appointment for my hip on the 17th of June. So we'll soon find out what's wrong with it. So yeah, and that's all the main disabilities anyway. And then I have like random bolt-on ones. So yeah, that's me. I live with my mum, and she's just told me to stop singing because I forgot she was in the house because I sing when I work. So yeah.
And these are conditions you've had since birth, or tell us about the
Yes.
diagnosis and the
Sorry.
journey you've been
So
on.
I was born, me and my twin, we were born at, I want to say like 24 weeks or something. And they tried to keep us in for as long as possible. We were like, here we are. Um, so when we were born, obviously they knew that we were going to be very, very ill because we were born so prematurely. And then it was kind of like a waiting game to see what was going to happen. We were in hospital for a very long time. Um, and then Mum said that eventually she got like let out of the hospital to prove that she could take care of us. And then she said it was all right for a bit. And then she said she took me to like a health visit, like to the doctors, and they picked me up. And she said my legs just like twisted around each other, and they went, "Oh." And Mum went, "Oh." And they were like, "Hey, yeah, my twins, they were born early." They were like, "Oh." So I think Mum said I didn't get my official diagnosis until I was about 3 years old because they have to check your development and all your scans and stuff. And then eventually, I was actually talking to Mum about this the other day. That's why I know. She said I had a tear. I was asking her how do you just randomly have a brain on your bleed on your brain when you're born? And she was like, no, there was a vessel that tore, and then the blood like expanded and it squishes your brain, and the more your brain gets squished is like how it's affected. And then the doctors literally just have to wait for it to stop, and where it stops is basically when your brain starts to like repair itself. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, I literally learned that like literally 2 months ago. So I was like, oh, cool. And then in the part where it was injured, that controls like all your speech, your coordination, all your limbs, your dexterity, stuff like that. So it's kind of like the luck of the draw, really, depending on how you can navigate it and what skill sets you already have and what damage you already had and how your brain's been able to rewire itself basically after that. And then you get physio and all that, and then they just kind of see how you develop. So that's the short story of it.
Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't know you were a twin. That's interesting.
Yes. Unfortunately, my brother, he passed away when he was 24. So
Oh, I'm sorry to
yeah, it's okay. But I miss him loads. So Mum always said, because we are obviously male and female, we're brother and sister. So they say like the twin dynamic isn't the same. I can tell you it's exactly the same because we were constantly together. You're in the womb together, you're in the cot together. But
yeah.
so I have a very severe physical disability, but my brother didn't. He was extremely able-bodied, extremely coordinated, loved gymnastics, loved running around all day. He loved art, he could draw, he wanted to be a tattooist. Like, so we almost got like the flip side. So I got all the academic and the speech and the knowledge, and he was like, my brother was severely dyslexic as well, and I'm also dyslexic because my father is dyslexic and it runs in families, but he was so dyslexic that he couldn't read and write properly, he couldn't do anything. So we always had a bit of a completely different dynamic, because I loved learning and education and he hated it. He just wanted to be like running free and all that. So yeah, it's quite interesting. When after my brother passed away, my parents kind of felt like his side of his learning difficulties were like ignored, because obviously when you've got a set of twins in school and one of them is physically disabled, she felt like there was so much attention that was put on me to get everything I needed and everything statemented. She really had to fight to make sure that my brother had the help and the education that he needed. And my parents say now, looking back, they actually think my brother was more on the autistic spectrum, because like he could only do like it's quite funny, like you tell him one thing and he'd do that one thing. Like he couldn't cope with like multiple instructions at once. He didn't like going anywhere new. Like I just thought it was my brother being grumpy, you know, like he didn't like going anywhere new. Like he could go if you told him in advance, but like if you told him the same day, oh, we're gonna go shopping today, he'd be like, no, I'm not going. He was very, very like antisocial, only was with his little crew, like didn't like phone calls, didn't like meetings, like the complete opposite to me. But it's only now when my parents can look back, they actually think, oh, Leo probably had more needs than we actually saw at the time, because we were so not that they were only focused on me, obviously, but it's natural when someone has a more physical disability that, you know, they're like, right, we've got to get a wheelchair, we've got to get a chair, she's got doctor's appointments, she's got this, she's got that. And Lou was just like along for the ride, basically, you know.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that kind of early childhood. When did you kind of notice, you know, that maybe things weren't designed for you?
I think I specifically remember the day that I gained, you know, like there's a day in childhood where you gain conscious and you understand your internal thoughts, because
Yeah.
that was the day I asked my mum what her name was, and my mum's name is Trina. And I was like a tree, and she was like, yes, that's my name. And I was 6 years old. So I remember that day, and I remember waking up in the morning and being like, oh, maybe if I get out of bed today, I'll be able to walk. Like I knew I was different, but I didn't understand I was different, because I would just carry on doing whatever I wanted, like colouring, whatever. And then I
Yeah.
remember one day I was in primary school and I was like, I can't see the board. I can't see it. I had glasses, and I remember I was doing this little maths test and I was confused. Not that I didn't know the answer, but I couldn't figure out on the sheet because of my coordination of where to put the answer. So then there
Yeah.
was like days when I was like, oh, I want to itch my leg. And then I couldn't, for my own consciousness, I didn't know how to do that. And it was like weird things like, oh, my mum gets me dressed every day. And then all my little friends would be like, well, my mum doesn't. And I'd be like, oh, like I didn't understand the difference, because I just assumed everybody's mum gets them dressed, you know, and up for school and breakfast, and everybody's mum puts their shoes on. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But then as I got older, so like from the ages of like 11 to 15, that's when my spasms really ramped up. And I was like, why is my body continuously moving? You know, and I was fine. Like I loved school, I loved people, obviously. Like I was like, huh, you know, but that's when I really noticed, like, okay, I'm physically different to everybody else. Because obviously in primary school, you go to the same school as everyone. You're literally with this group of kids since you're like 3 years old. So you don't really know the differences by that point. Like, and then when I got to school, I was like, oh, I'm different. And I was like, I'm really tired all of the time. And then I remember just before leaving primary school, like, you know, like you're doing PE in school and stuff, that's when I started to notice, like, because I would just run around with my chair with everyone. Like, it didn't cross my mind. Like, if I had skipping
Yeah.
rope, I would just like put my chair over the rope. Like, didn't. But I remember one specific time in primary school when they were playing rounders, I was like, oh, that's not what I look like. I remember like being like, oh, maybe it doesn't look like that for me. And which is, I still get that now. I had that recently last week, because I just look like me. To me,
Yeah.
you know, I forget my body looks different to everybody else. So I remember that. And then high school was fine. I like school, but when I got to university, I was like, cool, I'm gonna go live by myself. And like, I was like, wow, I'm disabled. Like, I was like, wow. Because, like, in my house, I can get dressed, make myself a sandwich, like, go to
Yeah.
school, like, whatever. And I was like, okay, I was like, wow. Like, why is everything so hard? Like, and I could do all these things. Like, I could do my washing. I knew how to cook. Like, I knew how to do online banking. I was like, why am I suddenly exhausted by everything? Why am I crying because I can't fold the clothes or I can't get my shoes
I
on
get
or
my shoes
you
on.
know, something that I
Yeah.
could do maybe once a week by myself, and then going to university and then being like, oh, I know how to do this every day by myself. Because we talked about this before. When I initially went to university, for the first couple of weeks, I didn't have like all the care set up, and I was like, I'll be fine. I was not fine.
Yeah.
I was not fine. And then it was new things like learning what time I needed to get up in the morning, because it would take me so long to get dressed, and like
Yeah.
learning what bus routes to take, and then learning all the extra life admin and cognitive load that comes with being with a disability. I was like, that's when I really learned. I was like, wow, I'm completely different to this world. Like, this world isn't built for me at all. Like, I went from a tiny little village where I knew everyone and I was like happy as Larry, like just going along, going to the shop, getting sweets, to a city with,
Yeah.
I didn't know any disabled people. Obviously, there's loads of people from different cultures as well. Like, everything is different. Even going to the shop to buy clothes, I remember having a panic attack at the till because it was before like tap. You put the
Yeah.
card in, and I dropped it, and I was like, what do I do? Like, because I'd never had that experience before. Yes, I'd gone shopping and stuff by myself all the time, but I'd never been consistently alone for such a long period of time. I was like, wow, I'm like really disabled. And I remember thinking, wow, why is it so hard? you know?
Yeah. It's that awareness that
Yeah.
things around you could be better as
Mm.
well. Because
Yeah.
a lot of those things that you describe as, when you were living at home and in the village, for want for a better word, the adjustments were there for you because you'd
Yeah. Yeah.
navigated them and it was there. And then in a new environment, all of a sudden there are these barriers that don't really need to be there.
No,
But
I didn't even know they existed. Like,
yeah,
like finding another way to a shop because there's a curb, and then there's actually another curb where there should be a flat curb, but then there's a car in the way. Like, I'd navigated these things before, but I hadn't had to navigate them consistently every day,
yeah,
So I was like, oh, this is annoying. Like, what the hell is this? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah. And like my friends, a lot of my friends, they live very far away from me now, but they still think they do something and they're like, Sean wouldn't be able to do this. Like, and we don't even live together in university anymore. And it's so funny
Yeah,
how when you bring your circle of friends in, they're like, wow, your life's really different. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
yeah. So what sort of things really make you smile when it works? What things work well for you in your environment or at your home, or that you just wish more people, whether it's in a cafe or a bookstore or a library, more people would think of this, would make a big difference.
Uh, I don't know. I never really thought about it, to be honest. I think with buildings, I'm noticing like they're making things a lot bigger. They're making doorways a lot bigger. Paths
Yeah,
sometimes aren't as small as they used to be. Um, there's a lot more lifts. There's a lot more lifts that aren't broken. I've noticed, which is nice.
yeah,
So it's just like everything is becoming slightly more fluid. Like, people are a lot more aware now of disabilities. I read a quote on Facebook the other week, and it said, you shouldn't say to a disabled person, do you need help? You should say, would you like some help? And I was like, oh yeah, because I've noticed that recently people are saying, would you like some help? Instead of, oh, let me help you, do you need help? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, I'm already
yeah,
distracted because now you've like confused me in what I'm already doing. And I can just be like, no thanks, you know.
yeah,
So I've definitely noticed a big shift, particularly in the last 2 years, of how people do interact with you in spaces you go into. And a lot of the times, no, I feel like I've gotten better at advocating for myself. So I'll be like, I need this table and I need the chair moved, and is your disabled toilet available? Or can you explain this to me again? Or when I pay for stuff, I'm like, is it okay if I pay for card and change, but it's going to take me a while? I'm like, yeah, fine. Like, I've gotten a lot better at explaining what I need, you know? And
Yeah.
even my new one is like telling my friends, actually, I need to pee again. Because I never used to do that when I was out and about. I was like, I'll just go for a wee once and then I'll just hold it. Because it would just take so much effort. Like, no, you are allowed to pee as many times as you want to when you're out and about, just like everybody else, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, do you think that comes with a little bit of age or confidence or what?
I think I just got fed up, to be honest. And yeah, I just got fed up. And then obviously we talked before, like during COVID, I lost so much of my confidence because I wasn't
Yeah.
doing anything. I wasn't driving my chair anywhere. I remember the first time I drove my chair outside after COVID, I was like, I can't drive my chair down this hill. But like, and I was like, well, during COVID, loads of people stated their access needs, so I'm gonna do
Mm.
it. Like, you know, because people tend to think like, oh, you're in a wheelchair, you just need a ramp, and I'm like, no, no. I don't just need that. I need you to explain 56 things to me, and I'm not very spatial aware. I'm horrendous. Like, I've just accepted that. Like, I think I kind of got to a point in my disability where I'm at the point I love working out. That's a different thing. But I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, my coordination, I'm 33 this year. It's not getting any better. Like, my confusion, it's not getting any better. My spatial awareness, not getting any better. My sense of direction, nothing. You know, like, I've gotten to the point, okay, these things aren't going to
Resonate.
get better when I'm by myself. So what can I do myself? Or now that I have a PA as well, I don't know if I told you that I have a PA now. So on a Friday, my dynamic is so different because I'm not going out with my mum. I love you, mum. But like, so I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, can you do this? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, can you just pass me that? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, thank you. And she's like, you don't have to thank me. It's my literal job. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay. But, you know, I don't have to be like, oh, mom, can you just, you know, because
Yeah.
I love my mum. She's my teammate. But like, I don't want to be with my mum 24/7, which I am because I live with her. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just going out and about more and having that freedom, being like, oh, I actually want to go here today. And mom's like, yeah, I can take you there next Tuesday at 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like, so that's
Yeah.
really fun. I just got to
Yeah.
the
So
point where it's like, I just want to be free, basically.
yeah, and independent and
Yeah,
thriving as well. What was that journey like? Because that's quite a close connection, a close relationship with somebody. So
yeah.
how did you find them, and what's
So
that experience been like?
what actually happened was before COVID, that seems like years ago now, I was younger then, and I was like, oh, I'd quite like a PA because I like to go places, love going on holiday. But I actually got declined because I was so independent and I was devastated, like absolutely devastated. My mum was like, well, no, she's what I would have been about what? 20, 26-ish, and she's like, she's 26, she wants to go out and about and do things. I can't drive her everywhere, you know. And at this point, I was starting to learn to drive, but I now we've discovered that I can't drive because I don't have like the coordination and stuff. So now I think that really played a part into getting my PA because um I can't drive. So my parents literally can't drive me everywhere. So but back because then I had a PA as well in university, but that was strictly for making sure I survive, making sure I eat, making sure I go food shopping, stuff like that. So
Yeah,
when I got declined, I was devastated. But then, so a couple of years ago, I don't know from when we spoke before, I started to get really, really tired, just through
yeah,
age and disability. My joints have gone really bad. I've had a really bad situation with my hip still going on. Like we don't really, and I just got to the point where I was like, "Ma'am, getting dressed, like things that I can do every day. I'm like, this is taking so much energy. And I like, so I don't work Fridays just because I don't want to be honest. Like, I like doing activities. I was like, I want to start going places. I don't want to have to sit and plan and take the train and the bus or get dad to swap a shift, which he would kindly do for me every day if I asked him, you know. I just want
oh,
to be able to get up and go.
yeah,
So, what happened then was when me and mum were applying, it took ages. So, you did the normal thing and then eventually I had a social worker. She was lovely. And she was stating how a lot of the rules had changed because back when I was younger, you couldn't have any family members and you had to go through a thing and you had to post it up and all this stuff. And she was like, yeah, your mum can be your PA if you want. And I was like, okay, great, but I don't actually want that. But thanks for letting me know. Um, and she was like, yeah, you can pick whoever you want. And if you already know someone, that's great. or we can go through the process of finding one. And I was like, well, my auntie Janine, who's like not actually my auntie, but my mama's best friend, so like one of those. I was like, well, that would be really good because we're really like best pals, and she makes me laugh, but she's also knows me because she's known me since I was like, I don't know, 20, like, a long, long time. So she knows me, she knows what I like, she knows my mum, she knows what I like to do. And I was like, Janine, do you want to do this? And she was like, yeah. So what's happened now is Janine is my like official PA, and then any days that like Janine can't do or sickness or health, my mum can step in as a backup PA. So I don't
Okay.
lose those hours on a Friday. So on a Friday, it's my day with Janine, and I just do whatever I want. It's great. Sometimes
Yeah.
she'll go to me and be like, "What do you want to do today?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Okay, well, you need to tell me what you want to do because Friday is your day." And sometimes, like we've done it now, where we've put all my doctor's appointments on a Friday, or we go to Specsavers, or I'm like, "Okay, I want to go to Primark this day," and instead of me taking the bus all the way to Swansea, I'll do it with Janine. Like, and we've started doing days out and going for walks, and I love going for walks. I'm a very simple woman, I'm just like, I just want to be outside. So yeah, it's made a huge difference. And then one of my major things is, so how it works is I have 4 hours domiciliary care, which is my main one was showering and washing my hair because I'm a girl. Love
Yeah.
showering, love doing and everything, shower, love washing my, but it takes forever and my hair is curly. So I was like, my main thing is I need someone once a week to put me in the shower and wash my hair. So at least there, once a week, I'm fully showered and my hair is washed. But I specifically told my social worker my main goal is socialization. Like, I want to get out and about. I don't want to have to worry about things. I just want to be like, oh, it's a Friday, off we go. I can plan more things on a Friday because Janine can take me, and it's just great. It's just
Yeah.
great.
And you mentioned as well that you love travel.
I do.
Talk to me about how you travel and how you find that experience, and from the kind of thing you plan, where you're going to go to what
Hang
you've
on, no,
experienced.
sis,
Is
it's a nightmare because in exactly 62 days, I'm flying to Utah for 2 days. Then, with my best friend, we're flying to Washington for her wedding. And then
oh
we do the wedding
wow,
in a week. We fly back to Utah, and then I spend a week in Utah, see all my other friends while she's doing honeymoon, and then I fly home. So every time I go on holiday, I go, this is a nightmare. I'm never doing it again. I'm in so much pain. I'm tired. And I don't really like to be out of routine for very long. I don't think anybody does when they go on holiday. And then you go to 2 weeks and you're like, I want to go home now. Like,
yeah,
and I don't deal very well with loneliness because so I don't like being in a hotel by myself. I love sharing rooms with people. I'm the girl be like, I'll share a bed with you. And everyone's like, oh no. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. I don't care. So yeah, so every time I go up to Utah to see all my friends, I go, this is the last time. This is too hard. I'm not doing it. And every time something comes up and I'm like, I'm booking my flight, off I go. And my luck with flights is so unlucky. I was actually very fortunate. So I didn't know Sophie was getting married this year. So I actually went out last year just for summer holiday. She was like, by the way, and I was like, okay. But last year, so I've told you before how I get stuck in airports because I miss my connection. It also
yeah,
happened again last year on my flight home, didn't it? And I had to text my parents, be like, don't make your way to Heathrow, I'm not on the plane. And I was like hyperventilating and crying, and they had to like take me somewhere else. And that was particularly difficult because my best friend Sophie, she knows I don't like airports. So she waited with me right up until the end. And she's like, babe, I can't wait with you any longer. Your flight is going to board like literally in 15 minutes. You'll be good. There's the assistance people. They're already here. I kid you not. As soon as she left, it went to cancelled. And I was like, oh.
no,
So then we had to book a hotel because obviously all my friends were going back to work and they live quite far from the airport. And it was just, but I feel like this has happened to me every time now. I'm like, it can't happen again, but it happens every time. So I
yeah.
do hate it. I do hate it with an absolute passion. But I just think, if I don't do it. The world isn't accessible. If I don't do it, I'm never going to do it.
A huge thank you to Sian for sharing her experience so openly with us today. I know these conversations can be personal, and we really appreciate her honesty.